afflicting nearly 19.2 million Americans, phobias to weird or irrational things affect more people than you might expect. For example, did you know that there are people diagnosed with a fear of water? This may seem odd considering that our body consists mostly of this stuff and requires water to live, but the fear of it is very real. The scientific term for this fear is aquaphobia, and it's described as the abnormal and persistent fear of water. Before we begin, we should get this fact sorted out. Aquaphobia is not the same thing as hydrophobia. The difference between the two is that hydrophobia represents the fear of water that develops in later stages of rabies. People with aquaphobia tend to avoid participating in activities that involve water, such as swimming, boating, and even bathing. Many aquaphobic individuals fear either immersing their head underwater or getting it up their nose, even if they know how to swim. Some fear water to the extent that they can't stand the sight of water without getting anxious. Aquaphobes experience an increased heart rate, hyperventilation, panic attacks, and fainting when exposed to water. This is especially dangerous when they are in the water, as panicking and fainting will increase the chance of drowning the individual. Now, a question you may be wondering is, why does aquaphobia develop in people? Where is the root of the fear of water? According to the National Institute of Mental Health, specific phobias develop in early childhood. Aquaphobia is a learned fear since kids are supposed to be ready how to learn to swim by around age 3, unless they become fearful of the water. Parents or caregivers can actually teach children to fear the water by telling them stories or warning them too often not to go near. Trauma from incidents relating to water can also cause children to develop aquaphobia. This includes anything from the death of a loved one due to drowning or almost drowning themselves when they were learning how to swim. Many cases of aquaphobia are left untreated due to the phobia not affecting their lives too greatly. Avoiding water doesn't take too much effort, so the fear stays. Early remedies of aquaphobia date back to a man named Celsus, a Roman medical authority of the 1st century AD. He stated that there is one remedy: to throw the patient unawares into a water tank, which he has not seen beforehand. If he cannot swim, let him sink under and drink, then lift him out. If he can swim, push him under at intervals so that he drinks his fill of water even against his will, for so his thirst and dread of water are removed at the same time. Yes, you heard correctly. The sole treatment for aquaphobia back in 1st century AD was surprising the poor soul with a tank of water and waterboarding them. Surprisingly, the contemporary treatment of phobias isn't too different from what Celsus was doing. Exposure therapy is the first line of treatment in most phobias. The individual needs to be exposed to the fear and try to unlearn it. An example of an individual overcoming their fear with exposure comes from 43-year-old actor Walton Goggins. His fears stemmed from the first time he watched the movie Jaws. Goggins decided to face his fear by taking up diving, and has since logged over 150 dives in deep-sea destinations, such as Thailand, Panama, and the Caribbean. Goggins finds that his fears disappear once he's in the water. There are other ways of overcoming aquaphobia that don't necessarily require a doctor's help. Former aquaphobes advise taking swimming lessons to become more comfortable in the water and to learn to relax and breathe correctly. Practicing deep breathing and relaxation exercises will help keep your body relaxed and calm in the presence of water. Prevention is also a key factor in stopping future cases of aquaphobia. Have younger children take swimming lessons as soon as possible to get them comfortable in the water. Aquaphobia is an uncommon and interesting disease. Knowing more about it, it seems like a silly thing to be afraid of water. Don't take it lightly though, as most phobias should be taken seriously and treated. And who knows, you could develop aquaphobia due to, say, The devastating death of a certain beloved book character on a deserted island? This has been Mark Garcia. Thanks for watching.